Hi everyone, this is Anil Pathak and welcome to my channel. Today in this video, we will learn the concept of parameters in Tableau. So what are parameters? So parameter is a workbook variable and it could be a number, a date or a string, and that replaces a constant value in a calculation filter or reference line. Now the variable which here we are talking about refers to a placeholder for a value, and parameter holds a value that can be used to replace something that is referenced in places like calculated fields, filters, reference lines, etc. And we will see the examples of all these three, how the parameters are used in calculated fields, in filters and reference lines right here in this video. And remember that parameters mostly are used to give the control to the end user, and it basically makes a few fields or calculations dynamic, okay, which normally would have been constant. So for example, if you have created a calculated field and it just returns true or false, this is a constant value, which is here, if you see, it is $500,000. So this is a constant value which is being used in a calculated field. But you can make this field dynamic by using a parameter, and this parameter can be shown on the dashboard and its value can be changed from the parameter control on the dashboard. And since this will be a dynamic thing, your formula will get automatically updated. Okay, so let's jump to Tableau to understand the parameters in detail. So I'll be using the Superstore data set, and the link to download this data set will be given in the description of this video. And I'll be sharing three use cases of parameters over here. Okay. So first use case is the top N customers. Suppose you want to identify out of a set only the top 5 customers or top 10 customers by sum of sales. So let's just plot the sales and the customer name. Okay, so and sort this by sum of sales. So this name is basically Joshua has the highest number of sum of sales. Okay, so I want to show only top 5 or maybe top 10. Okay, so we can use the parameters to do this. Okay, go here in the dimension, since we want to basically show only top 10 customer names, so that's why we will go into the customer name dimension. Click on filter. In filter you see 4 tabs are there: general, wildcard, condition and top. We will go to the top because we want the top condition, right? We want only top 5, top 10, top 20. Okay, and go here in by field. Here you see top 10 by sum of sales, right? Now I want this to be dynamic. This is a constant 10. Okay, if I replace it by 20, again this is a constant, right? But I want it to be a dynamic value. So just click on this drop down and you will see create a new parameter. Okay, just click on this and you will see that we have a create parameter dialog box open. Now click rename this, let's say top N customers. Okay, and current value I want it as 5. I want to display top 5 customers, and this will be a range. Let's keep it a minimum of 1 and maximum of 100, and maybe I can introduce a step size of 1, so it will always increase in a step size of 1. So 21, 22, 23 likewise, or maybe 19, 18, 17. Okay, that would be the step size, and just click OK. Okay, and now you see that it is replaced, I mean constant value of 5, 10, 20, whatever is replaced by the parameter called as top N customers, which we just created. And if you see here, this top N customers parameter has been created and it is visible under the parameters head over here. Okay, and just click on OK, and now you will see that let me also click on this show parameter. This will show your parameters and what the value is. Now we see that the parameter has the value of 20, and that is why we are able to see the top 20 customers over here. You can change this slider to display only, let's say, top five customers, right? I've changed it using the slider. You can increase also. Let's say I want to show top, let's say 30 or 31, whatever. Yeah. So this now displays top 30 customers. Or you want to display only top two, maybe. Okay. So this way, basically, what we have done is we introduced a parameter. We linked it to the filter, right? So remember, I told you I'll show you how the parameter works for filters. So we have linked the parameter to a filter of the dimension, and that's how we are restricting the number of customers over here. Okay, and another way to create the parameter. Okay, I'll show you the another way. This time we had gone to filter and then created it. Now let us delete this, and then again I have all the customer names and then sort it. And this time first we will create the parameter. So just go on this drop down, click on create parameter. Again we will have the same dialog box. Now let's create top n customers, and this will be second parameter. Click on integer, current value, let's say 5, range minimum 1, maximum 100, step size 1. Okay, and now we'll again go here only in filter. We'll go to the top tab, by field, and when you click on this drop down, you will see that we have both the parameters listed here. This one got created when we had clicked on create a new parameter, and now we have created a parameter called as top n customer underscore 2. So we can select this one, okay, and click OK. Okay, and we have to show also this parameter. So show parameter, and this parameter right now I'm not using, so I'll hide it. Now you can increase it or decrease it as per the usage, and this is working. So this was the first use case of the parameters. Now let's go to second use of the parameters. Let's say I have a line chart, okay, of sum of sales, and it's being displayed at a day level. So I'll just select the day level over here, okay, and I'll just filter this for, let's say, range of dates for 6 months. I'll take 1st July of 2015. Okay, so 7, then 1, and 31st December of 15. So this is 6 months data. I'll filter this. Okay, so we have a sales line graph, basically, right? Line graph. So it's displaying sum of sales by day of the year 2015. And now suppose I have a requirement that I want to highlight a certain period of this, a certain portion of this graph, suppose like this. Okay, this should be highlighted. Okay, and that can be done by reference bands, which can be used to highlight a certain portion of your graph, but that portion should be dynamic. Okay, now I cannot go every time into the reference band and update the constant date values over there, right? So that's where parameter comes into picture. What we will do is we'll create two parameters. So just go here, click on create parameter. Now this will be our from date. You can select it as date. Keep it at all so that a calendar view will be visible. Just show this parameter, and now if you'll see, this is a calendar view, right? Same way, create another parameter. This will be to date. Okay, again select date, and again all option, click OK. Again show this parameter in your visualization. And now let's say I want to highlight only September month of 2015. So first I will select 1st of September 2015. Okay, and this will be, let's say, 30th of September. Okay, but nothing happens, nothing gets highlighted over here, right? Although we have selected 1st September to 30th September in the parameters. This is because we have not linked the parameters to the visualization. And how can we do that? So just go to analytics. Right now we want to use the reference band to highlight a certain area in this graph, and that would be on the day partition, right? Day here, day is there, right? We want to highlight certain days, so it will go to day option, and this will be for the entire table. So just drop this reference band over here. Okay, now it will open up a box here. It will ask you what you want to select, band from, band to. And now I would like to mention that I have made one video on reference line and reference band. So if you want to have more details how reference line and reference bands are used, just have a look at that video. I will leave the link to that video in the description of this video. Now coming back to this video, so this is band from. Now if you click on this drop down, you will see that I am able to see the parameters which I have created, from date and to date. Okay, so even though these two parameters are not there in my visualization, but still I can see those parameters, right? So I want it for from date, and this will be to date. And computation you can do custom. If you want, this can be like date, and then maybe you can put the value, and same thing here in custom, you can write it as date and then maybe value. Okay, and then click OK, and now you see that this area is highlighted using the parameters mapped to reference band, right? And you can also display these ranges in the title. So if you go here, just delete the sheet name, I don't want that, and you can say that sales for the period from, so insert the from date parameter, to insert the to date parameter is highlighted. Okay, right now I want to convey that message. Now you can just click here and select this and make it bold and maybe some other color, so that we identify the parameter values. Click on bold and maybe other color, and just click on OK. So now you see here we have selected 1st September, so that date is coming here, to 30th September, and that is highlighted, right? And if you change this value to say 15th September, now you will see that the shading has accommodated this change, and the title has also accommodated this change, right? Now you will see that the shading has also adjusted itself with the change in the parameter, and even the title has adjusted itself to accommodate the change in the parameter. So this way you can quickly make use of parameters and then highlight a certain area in your graph using the parameters and reference bands, or maybe reference lines, as and when the use case is there in your visualization. Okay, now let's move to the third use case, which will be the moving average. So let's build a view. I'll probably make use of this view. So let me duplicate this, and I don't want the title over here, I don't want these parameters over here, and I don't want this reference band. So just remove this. Okay, now again I have this line chart for 6 months of data, and what here I'll do is I will duplicate this sales bill. So just drag this here, click and drag, and then what I'll do is I'll make this lower graph as the moving average table calculation. So just go here, quick table calculation. There's an option called moving average. So just click on that, and now you will see that this graph is the moving average of the sum of sales. If you hover on any point, you will see in the tooltip, it's written as moving average of sales from the previous 2 to the next 0. So that means it's taking the previous 2 days and the current day, right? It's not taking any of the next. So next is 0. So basically 2 from previous, 1 from current, that make 3 days. 3 days average is represented as by one dot. Okay, so basically moving average smoothens the data, and the spikes in your data, which basically stops you from reading the trend, right? So that's where moving average helps in studying the trend and ignoring the spikes in your data. Now, suppose you want to change this period of previous 2, then you have to go here in edit table calculation and select this previous values to some other, whatever you want. Let's say I want as maybe previous 4. Okay, so right now this is the way. Okay, but I somehow want that that should be available in the form of parameter, and it should be available on the dashboard so that end user have a control over it. So how is it possible? Okay, so basically just drag this calculation onto measures so that it will start appearing in your measures as a calculated field. Drag and drop it here. You will see that we have that field, and now name it as moving average, since it is a moving average. And now what I'll do is make a parameter. So click on create parameter. I want it to be named as, let's say, previous end days. Okay, and it will be an integer. So current value could be previous, let's say 4, and it will be a range, a minimum of 1, maximum of 100, step size 1. That's fine. Okay, and now the calculation which we have just copied, so moving average, just click on this and go into edit. Okay, now here in edit option you see that the formula used for moving average is a table calculation, which is called as moving average. And since it's a table calculation, it always works on aggregated data. So here it's the sum of sales, which is the aggregated data, and -4 basically is telling that it's considering the previous 4 days, right? Previous 4 days, and 0 for next. Okay, now I want to make this 4 as dynamic. So I have already created a parameter. Just delete this 4 and drag this previous end date. Okay, previous end date over here. Now this is a parameter. Now this calculated field is a dynamic field because you can control this calculation using this previous end days parameter. Now just click OK here, and let me show this previous end date parameter over here. I'll also, what I can do is I can just accommodate these two in one, so by using the dual axis. So just click on dual axis, and don't forget to synchronize the axis whenever you use the dual axis. Okay, and I want to bring this here, let's say, and I can hide this since it's now same. Okay, and now just play around with this. Okay, so you can see that as I am increasing the number of days, data is getting further smoothened, right? The smoothing is increasing with the increase in number of previous days, right? So I am now able to basically gauge the trend of the data. Otherwise, the spike data normally basically distorts your trend and doesn't really help you in reading the data. So that's why many people make use of moving average to study the data. So here also we saw the usage of parameters. Okay, so we saw three use cases of parameters. First one was using the parameter in the filter. Second one was using the parameter in the reference band, and third one is using the parameter in the calculated field. Okay, so these were the three use cases. I hope you got a bit of understanding how parameters work in Tableau, how they help in making the constant as a dynamic thing, and so users get the control. Basically, end user get the control to change the values of the parameters, and so the graphs become more dynamic in nature instead of the constant, right? And that's it for this video. I'll be also sharing one more video on sheet swapping using the parameters. Do watch that video to understand how the sheet swapping happens in Tableau. I will leave the link to that video in the description of this video also. So I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for your time and thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button and please subscribe to my channel to remain updated with my new videos. See you again next time. Thank you.